Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around we're going to be talking about the 2021 film Dear Evan Hansen. Now, the film stars Ben Platt as Evan Hansen, Julianne Moore as Heidi Hansen, his mom, and the only other one you will probably recognize from this is Amy Adams as Cynthia Murphy. The rest of them are pretty unknown actors. The storyline of it, apparently it was based off originally of a Broadway play. The storyline of it is all fictitious, of course. But basically, the main character, Evan Hansen, is this shy, socially awkward teenager in high school. Besides that, also he has, never really said exactly what he has, but more or less depression and anxiety. Like, it doesn't give his exact name of his disorder, but that's basically what he's dealing with. He's very socially awkward, barely look at people, much less talk to them. And it makes it very hard for him in his day-to-day life. And, this one day he happens, so as part of his therapy, his therapist tells him that he needs to write these letters to himself to help him deal with his anxiety and his depression. And he happens to write this letter one day in school to himself. Starts off, "Dear Evan Hansen, this is my day, this is how it's going, yada, yada, yada." And as he's going to get it off the school printer, because I think he prints it in the library, this guy named Connor Murphy grabs it off the printer before he has a chance to get it. And he starts reading it. Now, in this letter, Evan just happens to have a crush on Connor's sister, Zoe. So he mentions in the letter that, basically, nothing, in a pervy kind of way or anything like that, but he happens to be talking about Zoe in his letter. Because he has a crush on her, he wants to talk to her, but he can't because he's so socially awkward. Connor takes this the wrong way. He thinks he's writing some kind of pervy letter about his sister. So he gets mad at Evan. He runs off with the letter, and Evan is mortified. He thinks that Connor's going to post this because Connor, in his own right, he's not socially awkward per se like Evan, like he's shy and everything. He's got his own demons that he's dealing with, and he's a bit of an outcast, I think is a better word for him. And basically, Evan thinks that he's going to post this letter online. He's going to be ridiculed. People are going to be laughing at him. And then for the next 3 days, I think it is, nothing. There's no post. Doesn't see Connor. Doesn't hear anything from Connor about his letter until he's called into the office one day by the principal, and Connor's parents are sitting there. And you find out Connor has unfortunately committed suicide. And now, for whatever reason, it doesn't really say if he just happened to have the letter in his pocket or if he intentionally meant to have the letter in his pocket. But he had Evan's letter to himself on his person at the time he died. And Connor's family thinks that Connor wrote the letter to Evan. And Evan, he kind of tries to say, no, he didn't write this. I wrote it. Or is trying to say that this isn't, that's not Connor's letter. But because he's so shy and he just can't get the words out, Connor's family just, is so ecstatic that, Connor knew somebody that they just, Evan just kind of goes along with it. And it just kind of snowballs from there into, this great big mess of an event throughout the movie. The premise of it, though, the movie itself, what the message is about is really good. Considering it's a fictitious story, it's very emotional, it's very well done. First of all, as anybody who's gone to high school in any era, especially the current area with the digital media and the cyberbullying, and knows it is an awkward world to be in, high school. And then you throw in Evan's problems on top of it, it's even more so. But it's a day-to-day thing that happens, unfortunately, too often, where these kids that are misunderstood and nobody talks to them, end up unfortunately committing suicide. And the message about it is that you're not alone. Reach out to somebody. Don't feel that that's the only way out of whatever's happening to you. It's a good message behind the movie. I definitely like it. I hadn't watched it until now. I really liked it. I thought it was a great movie. Now, seeing as how it was originally a Broadway play, it's obviously done with a bit of a musical aspect to it. There's some good songs in here. "You Will Be Found" is obviously the hit song, the main song of the movie. It's very catchy, very well done. Ben Platt, the dude is an amazing singer. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure if he has a music career. I mean, the dude should have a music career. I mean, obviously, there's a difference between Broadway music and, and Broadway singing as opposed to, like, pop star. But I don't think this dude could have any issue making the transition. He's just got an amazing voice. He plays Evan, and, it's one of those rare instances where, like, whether or not, now, to be honest with you, most of these never, like these Broadway things, or most of these movies, they don't usually start out with Broadway and go movie, or go movie Broadway. Like, however it usually goes, it's very rare. Ben Platt actually played Evan Hansen in the Broadway version as well, so it's rare to have the same guy who did it in the Broadway version did it in the movie. So it's, and he does it very well. I'm glad they did that. I think it was a very smart choice. And, and of course, like, with his voice, it's just phenomenal. But the main part of the movie, like I said, is, whatever the issues you're dealing with, and whether you be a teenager in high school or you could be a full-blown adult, the message of "you are not alone" is a great message in this movie. And one not to be taken lightly. It happens far too often. I don't think it's discussed enough. And I like the way that they showed some of the kids in the school. Even the one girl, Alana, who seems very popular. She's like the president of everything. Excuse me, a very popular girl in school. It turns out she has her own personal demon. She's on medication for stuff similar to what Evan has. It's just, I like that kind of relation between, somebody like Evan and a popular girl like Alana, that they have that connection. So yeah, that being said, I mean, I definitely recommend Evan Hansen, if you've never seen it. And the only thing I will say, like, I in my reviews and recommendations, whatever you want to call them, for the most part, I try not to nag on anything in the movie. The only thing that I would say about this, and again, it's still an enjoyable watch. It works itself out in the end. You kind of see why they did what they did. I just personally would have liked the way that they did the story to be a little different. I don't think they necessarily needed to do the whole big lie thing with Evan, with him and the Murphy family. I think that they either could have, they could have maybe used the note, but Evan told them what had happened and still, use that as the way to inspire it. Or maybe they just don't, with Connor's death, it inspires Evan to go out and tell people. Like, I just don't feel like that whole lie thing needed to happen in the movie itself to even get the same message across. Again, I'm not a writer of plays or direct movies or anything. It's just a suggestion, in my own opinion, that I think that it, might have been a little bit better, because it kind of makes the movie a little awkward at times. But that being said, it's a very well done movie. There was one other character in it that I wanted to mention. Jared Kalani, who is kind of Evan's only friend, but he's actually just a friend because their parents know each other. He actually is pretty funny. He provides a lot of the comic relief in this movie. Is the guy who plays him is Nick Dodani. So yeah, he's pretty funny. You see him pretty much right at the beginning of the movie. So yeah, again, if you've never seen Evan Hansen, check it out. You will not be disappointed. Not sure if it's available on streaming platforms. I just happened to pick up a copy myself at my favorite used movie store, The Beat Goes On. But yeah, check it out, folks. You will not be disappointed. Have yourselves a great night. We'll see you next week for another episode.